out there? Welcome back to Corked Stats, powered by the Mayo Media Net here on YouTube, presented by Jock MKT, the daily fantasy app where we actually make money. What a novel idea that is. Download the app for free. Use the code MMN, Mayo Media Net, to get your first $100 matched for free. And if it's free, it's for me, baby. We're up in the market every single day, giving you not just the players and the who, but the what, the why, the where, and pretty much the how with the numbers to back it up. Man, the $100 promo is more than enough to do damage. You don't have to get it in one night. Average players go around $5. That's going to get you 20 swings without going in your own pocket to make some money. And it starts here at the Mayo Media Net and Cork Stats every day, Monday through Friday, and the 3 pillars of profit. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, man. I come back ready to rock and roll. The Italian Tasmanian devil, blah, 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 is out the cage. Man, I am ready to feast on some cash. It's been a rough go the past couple weeks. Now we play around even, a couple bad bounces. Such as life, but I'm ready to get back in the black ink column. How about that, y'all? The 3 pillars of profit starts with daily DFS in Jock Market, but if you're not much of a daily player, these are total base props as well. We're bringing it all. We're running the gamut. It's the full gauntlet. It's the whole kit and caboodle, shebang, chimichangas, and the bag of chips. If you're into that kind of stuff, let's get into today. We got 12 games up on the slate. We're starting with my Bronx Bombers, the Yankees. I know I love the Highlanders, right? It's been very funny because I'm super pessimistic Yankee fan. They're awesome right now, okay? So even if you hate them, don't waste your money going up against them. Today, we're looking at the Yankee lefties up against Jordan Lyles for the Orioles. 877 OPS to lefties year-to-date. 4 of the 5 home runs he's allowed. Also to southpaws, we're looking in particular at the fastball. He's had problems spotting that. To lefties, 791 X-slug on the year. We're looking for Anthony Rizzo. Ding dong, baby. He's going yard. Tonight, cue him up for sure. So he's one of the players that we will be willing to go up to that kind of $6 or above range. I never really go above $8. It's just not my style. Remember, the top share in Jock Market returns $25. I like to leave room to try and get a bit more of a percentage return if we do get the top player. If you're a beginner and working on the promo code, stick with the lesser guys. Let's get into Cincinnati, and those righties against Drew. Guy Smiley, 870 OPS to righties on the year. 5 home runs already to righties. In particular, we're looking at the sinker. He hasn't found the break. 820 X-slug on the year and 2 of those homers to righties. Look for Brandon Drury, Kyle Farmer, and Reynolds. Now, these are the kind of guys that I made my money on when I first started with the promo code. I think I turned the $20. Man, it wasn't like 3,500. I think I'm at like 31. You know, the oscillations, the ebbs and flows. I wear my L's on my sleeve. If I go down to 0, you're going to know. That's just how I am, man. Whatever it is. I'm not fake, you know what I mean? If I go down a loser, I won't be a fraud, right? If that means anything. So guys like Drury, Farmer, and Reynolds are really cool because in total base props, we're looking at a half a base play. Those are really easy to attain in DraftKings and FanDuel, where we know we may not like to have to hit the 10-player parlay. Those players come in cheap. Maybe they'll be low owned. And remember, in Jock Market, when a player is cheap, there's inherent leverage because they're low owned, because if they weren't low owned, the price would go up. That's like the definition of a free market. Next up, the Baby Bears from Chicago, right side of the tracks. In that same game, we're looking for lefties against Vlad Gutierrez, who he hasn't been able to get anybody out, man. 875 OPS to righties on the year, but only 1 home run. 1,200 OPS to lefties and 5 ding-dongs. We're looking at the fastball to lefties, 761 X-log, 5 of those home runs. Well, let's look at Ian Happ and John VR. Ian Happ now is probably in the middle setting. Again, at Mayo Media Net, it's more than just nonsense. We're not just going through the motions. It's the who, the prices, and how to apply it. We're looking at, think about these things in kind of high, medium, and low settings. $3, $5, and $7, and it's very hard to get $3 players. Maybe like 6, 5, and 4, maybe even something like that, little CeeLo action there. A guy like VR is going to be down at the low setting. You want to really hit that one. A guy like Happ is going to be at the middle setting. Guys like, Rizzo maybe at the top. If a guy like VR begins to get as expensive as a Rizzo, you let it go. Let other people take that risk, no matter how much we like it. Tomorrow's another day. Last stack, it's the Twinkies from the Twin Cities. Give me the Twins righties against Bo. Brisky 5 ERA year-to-date, plus 5 Sierra year-to-date, plus 2 home runs per 9 year-to-date. Exactly the stuff we'd like to look for. A 950 OPS to righties, plus 400 WOBA allowed, and 4 home runs. Give me Gary Sanchez, little garlic on the pizza, and Celestino. So, we like those guys. Sanchez could fill in the C spot in your DraftKings lineups. Guys like Garlic and Celestino, you're going to get cheap. So, again, we don't want to just chase chalk. Sometimes the answer is chalk. A guy like Rizzo may be a top-owned player today. It may not be great in DraftKings. Again, I have found a lot of the guys that we name here on the show do kind of top out at that high setting, $6.50, $7. A lot of times it's really name value. Like Vlad Guerrero, regardless of the matchup, is going to be all the way at the top. I haven't really chased Guerrero. He hasn't really been productive. When the model and the trend indications signal us to go after him, we will. Trust me, I don't care about the Yankee jersey. It has nothing to do with it. We're going to bet Red Sox when it's time to bet Red Sox. We're going to bet Mets. We are going to bet everybody when it's time to get paid. I ignore the jersey, and I think at this point, you basically know it. So that's a stack report in the first pillar of profit. Today should be really nice. We're going to get the full slate. I'm really excited again. Don't chase those really expensive players. All right, let's get into the fantasy side. Monday is just a mountain, right? It's too much to do in just a few minutes. So rather, let's say than, throw too much at everyone and it doesn't stick, I'm going to kind of segment it, right? So I did all the work, of course, big surprise. I was trying to run everybody through these graphics with all the SP matchups. It's just too much to go look back at the weekend and forward at the week, all 7 days, lefties and matchups, platoons, all that stuff. That's the stuff we want to sink our teeth into, so that's the stuff we're going to get. As far as the images goes, just follow me on Twitter at MLB Moving Averages, at MLB. Whoop, almost fell out of my chair. That would have been pretty funny. I don't care. I wouldn't have started this thing over anyway. Seriously, you ain't going to shade me. I don't care about nothing like that. So, all right, man. The graphics we'll put up on Twitter. I'll tag Mayo Media Net. We'll get Patty involved in it so you guys should check it out. I love visualizations, and I believe they're really helpful. So I'm not cutting them loose because I don't think it's worthwhile. It's just too much to do. And it's just too much. So I'm going to put out the graphics, and I think they're more effective to be looked at. So rather than me trying to read you something and it's being inefficient, again, I don't want to be thought of as flip-flopping, but I do want to be thought of as always having the little tool out, that little sculpting, razor out and putting fine little precisions on. I'm okay with that. We want to be getting better every single day. I really don't believe in this kind of lateral movement where you stay the same if you were lazy. If you thought you stayed the same, you probably got worse at whatever you thought it was. Seriously, that's some good advice, really, that applies to life in general. So, all right, let's get up into the fantasy board. Like I said, just check out the images on Twitter and Mayo Media Net. We'll just run through all 30 teams. I think that's the best way to do it in alphabetical order. Arizona Diamondbacks, you got Zach Davies going 2 times, home at KC, home at LAD. That's really tough sledding. I know people see the KC and want it, but the Dodgers could blow you up. They got 6 games, only 1 against lefties, so you're pretty much playing your Diamondbacks. They've been a really good source of production, believe it or not. Again, there's that Jersey bias that we just mentioned, ignoring. If you've been following along, and if you're new, welcome. We appreciate you. Fantasy show. So Monday is the full board. Tuesday and Wednesday, advanced stat leaderboard. We're mining time-sorted stuff to find the gems that we then apply on Thursday for the waiver moves. Friday, the look ahead. So where I'm getting at is we've been talking with these guys. We were early on every single one of these hot hitters this year. Go back and check the receipts. That's how we do. I talk a lot of smack. You got to be able to back it up. We were early on Drury, but to the Diamondbacks, early on Christian Walker, early on Pavin Smith. When the model goes off and the indicator says go, you grab these players for cheap, and if they fail, you cut them for cheap. If you wait too long, you overpay and then find yourselves kind of wed to these guys. Next up, Atlanta Braves. Tucker Davidson is back. He's going twice. If he's available, you really got to circle this guy. He goes twice with Fried, home at Philly, home at Miami. Philly can be tough. have seen them a bit up and down. I'm okay attacking Philly because the back end of that lineup is not great. So if you manage to dance around the front, they're not incredible. Atlanta, of course, with Acuna back, really dangerous. So I do like Davidson you're playing, or your Braves. Next up, Baltimore Orioles. Zimmerman and Lyles go 2 times, but it's versus Yankees and Boston. So where I've been deploying Zimmerman and do have him on some rosters, I actually just started cutting him. Injuries have finally caught up. He's the kind of pitcher that I think it's okay to cut because the K's are not there. Again, I think you'll find if you follow my fantasy work, I'm not much for 2 starters. I want to identify these guys. You'll find most of them I'm saying that I'm not starting. I almost don't make any decisions based on 2 starters. I like the pitcher or I don't like the pitcher. I'm more about the underpinnings and the matchups than anything. I'm known to sit my studs against good teams. I do it all the time. In fact, I have Logan Gilbert, one of my best home league teams. I hardly start him because he always has tough matchups. That's just what it is. So Hayes is back, Mountcastle is back, and I also circled the very tough pitching matchup. So there's like a bit of it, right? We're all going to be setting lineups today. Luckily, the games start later, so we hopefully won't be in a rush, but that's the stuff that matters, right? So I'm sitting Zimmerman, I'm sitting Lyles, Hayes is back, Mountcastle's back. Next up, Boston has Pivetta 2 times. He's looked very good against the White Sox. They haven't really hit righties. And against Baltimore, I think you're queuing him up. Keep an eye, J.D. Martinez and Verdugo. Left games hurt, no news, have to monitor that. The Cubs have Smiley 2 times. He's a gas can, not interested in that. I saw people adding him in CBS leagues and stuff to run him out there. I'm not into that. The Cubs face 6 righties. You're queuing up all the baby bears. White Sox only have 5 games and face 3 lefties. So keep an eye on that. You're sitting Gavin Sheets, Cincinnati Reds, Vlad Gutt, and Molly go 2 times. Home with the Cubs. Home at San Francisco. Gutierrez is a gas can. Ignore that. I am into Molly. I've always been a Molly guy. I think you could face these 2 offenses. San Francisco is good, but not great. The Reds face 4 lefties, 2 early slate, 2 in the late slate. So you got to sit Friedel, you got to sit Moran in the deeper leagues. For the Guardians, Tristan, McKenzie, and Plesac go 2 times at Houston, at Detroit. I would not start Plesac. I am starting McKenzie. Josh Naylor is back. They face 2 lefties early in the week. Keep your eye on Steven Kwan and Andres Jimenez. They may be sits in NFBC formats for the first half. Colorado Rockies, Chad Kuhl, Kyle Freeland go 2 times at Pittsburgh, at Washington. I added Chad Kuhl. I know my boy Samulski, you got to follow. Eric is the man. He's everywhere. I know he added Cool. I know he caught a poke. I'm going to tweet about that. I'm down with the Cool Cats. He was on the stat leaderboard. We've added him, but only to start on the road. So I haven't eaten any of the bad starts with Chad Cool, and I think that's very important. Cool is my Rockies pitcher. I don't start him anywhere. I mean, I may give him the Reds or the Pirates at home, but I haven't eaten a single bad start from Chad Cool. I think he's going to be good at Pittsburgh and at Washington. You're starting all your Rockies. Detroit Tigers. Elvin Rodriguez go 2 times. I did not really know who he is, just being honest. Brisky goes 2 times as well. I'm afraid about him getting into this league. They're at Minnesota, home at Cleveland. I got 2 no's there. They're facing all righties. Start your Tigers. Houston Astros. Luis Garcia goes 2 times. He's good at Cleveland and home at Seattle. You know you're going to roll that one. All the bats are good to go. Kansas City Royals with cheese. Zach Greinke goes 2 times at Arizona and at Minnesota. I think you could probably do it. I do like the Minnesota offense. They're a lot better against lefties than they are against righties. Greinke's been showing a few changes. I think you could get him going. The strikeouts are not there, but if you need ratios, which are a little easier to get this year, but it depends who you got. I'm not rostering Zach Greinke. If you know, I'm into swing and miss. That's not my kind of guy. They're facing all righties. Keep your eye on Kyle Isbell. That's the ad that I had this week that no one else is really into. I really like Isbell. He's hitting for average. We haven't seen the steals and homers, but I think they're coming. Once they do, he's a triple-digit fab kind of guy. Next up, the Angels have no 2-steppers. Taylor Ward missed 2 straight games. Keep an eye on that. Jared Walsh, who had been playing every single day, has now sat the last 2 versus lefties. They have 1 in their early slate, 1 in the late slate. You're probably starting him anyway, but I just want to give you a heads up. Keep an eye on Walsh, who was in a platoon, was out of a platoon, and I was kind of getting back into it again. How I'm trying to parse through it all myself rather than have to read and get every detail. We'll get through all the important stuff, and you know the comments are open. Please, this is what we do. This is how we want to be separated from the pack. It's not some faceless thing like you're coming at John and I'm here for you. The only thing I find, and I don't like to do it, and it's not personal, is DMs. I get caught up into DMs. I want to put these things in public so everyone can share from it. That's the only thing. If I don't answer your DM, sometimes I end up tweeting about these things, and that's it. I did not try to ignore anybody. If anybody knows, I try and get to everybody just about as fast as possible. You are all straight up a priority to me. All right, the Trolley Dodgers from L.A., Hollywood, always up to no good. Tyler Anderson and Walker Buehler, Texas Ranger, both go twice at Washington and at Arizona. I've never been an Anderson guy, but listen, he's with the Dodgers. He's got the sweeper going. You got to get with him. They have two good matchups. They face one lefty on Friday, so maybe you have to look to sit Muncy this weekend. That was the lineup thing I had circled. He's been getting platooned. He hasn't looked very good, I think. Next up, Miami. Pablo goes 2 times. You'd start him against the 23 Yankees right now, but they only have 5 games, 3 against lefties. So keep an eye on those Marlins. You want to be sitting them in kind of toss-up positions, most likely from a volume point of view. Milwaukee Brewers. Hauser and Burns go twice at SD, at STL. I'm not a big Hauser guy. I think you'll see that, right? Again, consistency in my work. I'm not into the Zimmerman, I'm not into the Hauser, I'm not into the Greinke because I don't like the lack of strikeouts. If they get beat up, they won't be strikeouts there to save your behind. So I'm kind of sitting Hauser. Of course, you're getting with Burns. They have 7 games against 1 lefty. Minnesota Twins, Archer and Gray go 2 times. Home at Detroit, home at KC. I'm not starting Archer. Of course, you're starting Sonny Gray. 2 lefties early in the slate. You got to sit Luis Arias. Let's go, Mets go. I had no notes here. 6 games against all righties. Queuing up for the Mets. Next up, the Yankees. Cole goes 2 times. All systems go for the Yankees as well, making it easy for us here. Oakland Athletics. Lowe goes 2 times, not touching that. Caprillion goes 2 times. He should be added in pretty much all 12 and 15 team leagues. They're at Seattle, home at Texas. I think you can get with Caprillion this week. They face 3 or 4 lefties to start, so you got to sit Seth Brown and Luis Barrera. Next up, Philadelphia Phillies. Wheeler and Gibson go twice at Atlanta, at the Mets. You got to start Wheeler. Gibson's on the bubble. It depends on your other starts. He's exactly in that same category. There we go, beating the dead horse. The Phillies have 2 lefties early, so you got to sit Bryson Stott. Pittsburgh Pirates. Brubaker goes 2 times, home at Colorado, then at San Diego Padres. I'm not touching that right now. They face 4 lefties. Vogelbach has been sitting against lefties. Our boy without the neck, sitting against lefties. Don't force him into your lineup. San Diego Padres have 6 games this week. 1 lefty early, 1 lefty late, which means Grisham will only be playing 2 games in both halves, 4 games on the week. I think you have to think about sitting him. Marco Gonzalez goes twice, home at Oakland, home at Houston. Not touching that with a 10-foot pole, Marco. I'm off of that totally. San Francisco Giants, my man Alex Corn on the Cobb. Man, I messed up my own nicknames. Can't be doing that now, can you? All right, he goes 2 times, home for the Mets, and then he's at the Reds. So, of course, you're starting him. I added him absolutely everywhere. He's actually dropped in the league. Couldn't believe that. After, the bad rehab start, can't be doing that, people. 2 of 3 lefties early in the week. So you got to sit LaStella and you got to sit Jock Peterson, especially in NFBC-style lineups. Cardinals, Michaelis, and Hicks go 2 times. Hicks is starting to look like a legitimate starter, but they're home for Toronto, home for Milwaukee. The way Michaelis has pitched, you got to start him. The way Hicks has pitched, he's been good, but I don't think I'm going to get to him. Tampa Bay Rays, Shane Mack goes 2 times. Get with that. Even though it's Miami, New York, he is matchup proof. They face 2 lefties early in the week, so you got to sit G-Man Choi. I also circled very tough opposing pitchers. Keep an eye on your Rays hitters. Maybe they're on the losing side of the coin flip. Texas Rangers, Dunning goes 2 times at LA Angels, at Athletics. They face 3 left-handers this week, 1 early and 2 late. That's Nate Lowe and Brad Miller. I mean, it's funny. I really like Nate Lowe, but he's been getting platoon. So early slate probably good. When it gets to the weekend, you got to keep an eye on Nate Lowe and those lefties. You don't want him, sitting the majority of games in the mini slate. Bluebirds from Toronto, north of the border. Joe Berry's, Jose Barrios goes 2 times. I've been off that. He has the Cardinals and the Angels. I mean, I'm just done running him out there. It's been really bad, and these matchups are really tough. If you have to start him, you have to start him. But yikes, the lineup's good to go. Very tough opposing pitching as well. For the Blue Jays, you're probably starting the front of the lineup. Keep an eye on the back. Last up, it's the Nats. Jawan Adon and my boy Josiah Gray go 2 times. But it's home for the Dodgers and home for the Rockies. That's a tough sledding, man. I think you might have to sit him if you can. I've been avoiding the gauntlet offenses. Again, something we've mentioned on the show, right? I'm trying not to face the Astros, trying not to face the Dodgers. These are things we're trying not to do. They face 4 lefties, 2 early and 2 late, though it hasn't really mattered as far as lineups for the Nationals. So, all right, that's the fantasy side. Let's jump into the betting board, everybody, and get this bad boy home. Oh, my goodness. Can we get one of these bad boys home? And I think this parlay is pretty much well reflected in today's breakdown. So first up, we have the Rockies. I believe they have the firm pitching edge with Chad Kuhl. Here, I got something here. It's up against J.D. Brubaker. Chad Kuhl, 3.86 ERA, 1.18 whip. Looking really good. He's been extremely tough on righties. Righties have a 5.05 OPS against him. He has a 5% barrel, 2% blast. He's been getting chases, getting whiffs. Everything we've liked about Kuhl on the road. Again, he has skewed stats for cores. On the other side, J.T. Brubaker, 5.5 ERA, 1.42 whip, 12% walk rate, 89% in zone contact rate, 43% fly ball rate. I think he's going to get touched up. We mentioned Drew Smyly and Vlad Gutierrez as both being gas cans. The Cubs and the Reds have a total 09. That one is one of the ones you're going to have to get early. I generally like to wait for lineups. This one, you can't. It's going to be 9.5. So whoever is producing this one and doing the clips, Matt, love you. Hope you had a great weekend. If it's you, get ready to, prepare the edit, everybody. Prepare the edit, because this game's going to 9.5. These two pitchers stink, and I think the weather is in our favor as well. So give me the Cubs and the Reds over 9, minus 110 to go with the Rockies full game, plus 110. I believe the Rockies will also be a favorite by the time we get there, even though we haven't got the results. And this is one thing some of the sharper followers have noticed is this has been like the CLV report. If we keep losing, maybe I'll make this the CLV report and spare myself a couple bucks every day. Because listen, I bet everything I recommend. You bet your bottom dollar on that. And then last up, we got the Phillies and Zach Wheeler against Tucker Davidson and the Braves. Now, granted, the Braves are good. I'm not trying to demean that. But when you have such a great pitching edge and Zach Wheeler at minus 125, you got to go that route, right? Every good offense has tough days. Davidson has been good, but he's also gotten touched up before. I mean, I really try to avoid quoting these tiny samples, but he got roughed up, right? So it's not a 1.7 whip, 6 ERA, 14 walk. I mean, these are things, again, I wasn't trying to stick, this is one of the reasons why we're going after him, but the point is, it's not like he was lights out in the small set, right? So, like, a guy like Gore came up and looked phenomenal. Jesus Luzardo came up and looked phenomenal. Like, these are guys you could see being slight dogs to potential Cy Young winners in Zach Wheeler. So, that's pretty much the thinking. Again, if you've been playing these individually, you're actually ahead. So, the people making money have been the people playing smart because they're not parlaying. I have not been putting full units, right? When I play straight, I'm playing for units. I haven't got there. It's too much money for me to play this early in the day, and I generally bet F5 just to be fully transparent. And if you're into that stuff, you want to go a little bit further, what we're doing at Mayo Media Night, you get starting pitcher ranks. Just follow us on Twitter. We're tagging, retweeting, everything, starting pitcher ranks, and I break down every single game, write-ups, algo scores, plus bets, and strategy, and just everything. Implied team totals. Like, it's literally everything you do. I just work and get as much stuff done I can until first pitch, and then we, boom, we start it all over again. So pack those three together. Colorado for the win, Philly for the win, Cubs and Reds going over, plus 621. Please bet small. Please bet smart. That's why I always put 1/10 of a unit up there every single day. That is the most important thing to be sustainable, because we can't guarantee results. Although the process is strong. We've had bad beats. And wins are obviously going to come, right? I mean, this is the kind of thing, it's not going to lose forever. And that's part of why being emotionally strong is so important. Because, we're all in, working in these different, like, concurrent sine waves, right? And sometimes they sync up and sometimes they don't. And, like, that's my understanding of luck. So, that was our feather, boop, for the cat for the day on the way out, right before the buzzer, is, just be strong, right? Be cool, be smart. And these things are all going to kind of work out in the wash, right? I'm never going to let my process get thrown off because of an error, right? Imagine letting an error on the field or a bad call or something affect how the years and hundreds of thousands of hours, not hundreds of thousands, hundreds or thousands of hours that you've put into this. So, all right, man, everybody, thanks for picking up what we're putting down. Make sure you download the Jock Market app. Today's a beautiful day to get paid. Today's a beautiful day because we had a lot of kind of lesser names, right? And it's a full slate. So we want bigger samples and lesser names. Let the public chase up the high. We'll be munching down in the low, looking for those guys in the $3 to $50 and $4 range, looking to double up, triple up as you work your promo cash into real cash. And then, really you start playing with, then you can open up the portfolio a bit. Although I have noticed once I'm beyond like 6 players, I want to say. It's probably too much. Those are the days I've probably capped myself. So, man, that was everything that you could possibly think of. The fastest show in MLB. Absolutely. Anyway, man, tell me not. Come on, it really is. So please rate, review, and subscribe to the audio podcast. That stuff, it means a lot, man. Not just to us, but, to the boss man, and then to the, the algorithmic overlords and all that good stuff. And then hit the like button. I waited till the very end to ask for it. Hopefully we earned it. Please hit the like button just on the way out before you close the YouTube thing, man. It's so funny how I know I'm guilty of the same thing too. I watch YouTube videos sometimes and don't click the like button, but now that I create, I try and hit the like button. It's the easiest and free way to say thank you on the way out if you think we did a good job. So, man, that'll do it. Man, work my arse off for this one. Good luck in your fantasy leagues. Good luck tonight, everybody. I see you at the cashier window. Remember, when you work this hard, it feels a lot less like luck, and I catch you on the flip side. Peace.